Welcome to the Trinity Radio Podcast. This podcast has a video component found at youtube.com/Braxton Hunter. This means you might miss some visual aspects of the show, but it shouldn't have a serious negative effect. We'd love it if you'd run over to the YouTube channel real quick and subscribe. And if you enjoy this content, do us a favor. Take a moment to give us a 5-star review on iTunes and mention a couple of things you like about the podcast. If you really appreciate the show, you can help make it better and get extra content for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/Trinity Radio. Enjoy the show.
Of the arguments for God's existence, is there one that to you seems more interesting than the rest?
No, they're all shit.
How is it that bombastic, over-the-top, mockery-ridden atheist comments never really cause me any doubt? I mean, in one sense, it's really not surprising when Christians tell me they experience doubt after reading the atheist comments under a YouTube video. When you hear messages like, you just believe in your sky daddy, it's like Santa Claus, there's no evidence, there's more evidence for Santa Claus, you should be like us, I believe in science. When you hear that every day, either from the atheists on the YouTube videos or from the atheist commenters on a Christian video, it can mount up. But the Christians who've told me that they experience doubt because of stuff like this say that it's not really because of intellectual arguments. It's more because of the rhetoric, the mockery that they see. There's nothing there that really should destabilize them. It's just OCD. What if we're wrong? But it hit me, I was thinking about it. Why don't I have this problem? I mean, honestly, I am completely impervious to this kind of doubt. When did that happen? How did it happen? Why? And after thinking about it for a while, I figured it out. And I think the answer could help some of you. This is me when I was a kid. Everyone I knew claimed to be a Christian. This little guy had no doubt. And even though it was at this age that I first asked my dad how we could know Jesus rose from the dead and why the Bible was true, I never wavered. It was all as real to me as my brand new Super Nintendo. As I got older, my questions became more sophisticated. But teenage Brax was more interested in God than he ever had been before. Still, no real doubt emerged, at least not about God. Doubts emerged about girls. Who was I going to spend my life with? Who was I going to marry? How could I be sure she's the right one? Can you even know? This is me on my wedding day with Sarah. An interesting thing happened. When I committed to Sarah, all the worry and doubt about who I should marry was gone. In fact, all the doubt about whether I married the right person was gone. Like forever. I know that's not everyone's story, and some marriages are toxic. I get that. But barring those kinds of marriages, the way I began to look at it, I didn't get to choose the other members of my family. I didn't choose who my parents would be. Those are my parents. I didn't choose who my brother would be. That's my brother. And now that I've chosen a wife, I don't get to choose who my wife will be. That's my wife. The question of leaving her doesn't even come into it. And so all the doubts dissolve. The matter is settled. I did experience doubt about the truth of Christianity, and in fact, it happened while I was preaching the gospel pretty regularly. Though I've always recognized the notion that some God doesn't exist as absurd, like truly absurd. The doubts I had weren't extreme, but they were there. After about 15 years of looking at the arguments and evidences and considering my own experiences, I realized that the only thing really fueling my doubt was OCD. And that makes sense. This is serious business. What if I'm wrong? Then I realized that just like those doubts about who I should marry dissolved once I got married because the matter was settled, those doubts should have dissolved once I became a Christian. The matter was settled. And that's because commitment is the key. The kind of commitment that caused me to say, I didn't get to choose my family, so there's no sense in wondering whether I've got the right brother. And I already chose my wife, so there's no sense wondering whether I've got the right wife. It's done. It's settled. Move on. After I had considered the evidence for so long and recognized that it was only OCD that was causing my doubt, it was time to commit. Again. From there, it was settled. It was done. Move on. And it doesn't mean that you can't consider objections seriously from other worldviews, just like you might take seriously objections from someone that you married the right wife. But in both cases, you remember who you are and to what you've made your commitment. That's it. I know it sounds simple, but when emotional doubts arise, just remind yourself, I dealt with this. It's settled. It's done. That's why atheism doesn't make me doubt. And I'll be talking about it till I'm old and gray.